gathered at Yosemite National Park in the U.S. to capture a photo of the so-called firefall.
These translucent flowers are one of the most fascinating plants in the forest.
The internet is a vast space, so no matter how chronically online you are, it's impossible that you could have seen everything.
He tells us about tree-climbing goats and the exotic elixir they help to produce.
And there's still a lot of stuff out there that is just waiting to be discovered. To make this easier for you, we've prepared a list of 55 things that you'll see for the first time in your life. Let's get into it. Number 1. Waterfall from hell. No, folks. That's not an actual firefall. It just looks like one. This natural phenomenon happens in late February when the sunset light hits Horsetail Falls just right. It makes it look like the water is on fire. This rare event only occurs for a few days each year, and the conditions have to be perfect.
Photographer Doug Hoke has been so captivated, he's come here for the past 4 years to document its beauty.
It needs to be a clear day, and the waterfall must be flowing from melted snow. There also has to be enough snow from the winter to create a snowpack at the top. Additionally, the temperature that day must be warm enough to melt the snow for the waterfall to flow. Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week. The conditions are quite specific, but the result is worth it. Number 2. Dancing defense. I bet you've never seen an anemone dance away from danger. Well, now you have. This is one of the few types of anemones that can actually swim. Number 3. Stone manipulation. Spanish sculptor José Manuel Castro López carves granite and quartz into flowing sculptures. His pieces look like they are made from clay, with soft folds and creases. This challenges how we see these hard materials. He always starts with the natural shape of each stone, blending its rough surface with softer textures. By minimizing signs of human work, the sculptures seem to have naturally formed into these unusual shapes. Number 4. Eating with the fish. Instead of eating the fish at this restaurant, you can eat with the fish. This restaurant is built inside a carp fish pond in northern Thailand. Customers can enjoy their food while watching the colorful koi fish as each table is surrounded by water in Chiang Mai province. The fish can be seen swimming around the submerged restaurant while water flows from pipes built under the chairs and tables. Now that's one restaurant I'd really like to try. Number 5. Pollen Explosion, and bam! Here come my allergies. I can sense them flaring up just by looking at these pollen explosions. A truck moves toward a pine tree during allergy season. With just a light touch, boop, a huge cloud of yellow dust spills from the branches like a toxic fog.
It's meant to be airborne, so by that reasoning, if you get a really good big gust of wind, you're going to see.
But that's not fog. As anyone who parks under a tree in spring can tell you, this cloud is just pollen. While some of you may not be affected by this scene, others will be left rubbing their eyes in painful familiarity. Number 6. Glowing rocks. These look like dragon eggs, but they're really not, and these can only be found, you guessed it, at night. They're called eupalites. A eupalite is a special type of fluorescent rock mostly found along the shores of Lake Superior. As the name suggests, these rocks can glow when exposed to certain lighting conditions. I want a glow-in-the-dark rock too. Number 7. Ghost plant. This plant looks like it belongs on some alien planet, because when you think of wildflowers, you might picture sunny meadow with bees and butterflies. While many wildflowers grow in these places, some thrive in different environments, like the ghost plant.
When I do harvest these plants, I only take 1 or 2 flowers from very large clusters.
It stands out because it lacks color. This plant is starch white and waxy, often with black flecks, which can make it look like a fungus. Ghost plants don't have chlorophyll. These are vampires that suck the life out of mushrooms. Number 8. Thumbs up. It would be a big problem for us humans if all cats had thumbs. They already create a lot of chaos without them, so just imagine what they could do with thumbs. It's a relief that only a few cats actually have them. But if there were a cat uprising, I, for once, would welcome our feline overlords. Number 9. Obsidian. This is not just any black rock. This is obsidian. It is a volcanic glass which is formed when lava cools quickly. This prevents any sort of crystal growth. Obsidian is hard, brittle, and breaks with sharp edges. This makes it useful for cutting tools and experimental surgical scalpel blades. And also, it's pretty cool looking. Number 10. Glass loaves. Master glass blower and stained glass artist Lauren Stump has amazed people online with his incredible talent. He has created a loaf of glass. It's a type of glass art called marine. It's made from carefully layered glass rods. When sliced, these rods reveal a detailed image inside. One of his greatest works is called Madonna of the Rocks. The most impressive part is that the full image can only be seen after the marine is cut. He had to trust his skills, and after seeing his other works, it's clear he has plenty of talent. Number 11. Paper sculptures. And while we are discussing art, we need to talk about Lee Hongbo's sculptures. His sculptures are not what they seem at first glance. These solid-looking sculptures are actually made of paper, and they can take many shapes, including bending and stretching like accordion. His works are inspired by honeycomb lanterns. Lanterns are traditionally used during Chinese festivals. He noticed that they are not only flexible, but also strong and can easily return to their original shape. Building on this technique, Lee stacks and glues thousands of sheets of paper together, then carves them like marble using various tools. On average, his sculptures are made from about 20,000 sheets of paper, but larger pieces can use even more. Number 12. Run from the plants. The pitcher plant is the world's second largest plant. It grows over 4 feet tall and is shaped like a pitcher filled with liquid. This plant secretes nectar around its opening to attract rats, insects, and other prey. The largest pitcher plant was discovered in 1858 by British naturalist Hugh Lowe in Borneo. Its habit of eating rats was confirmed 4 years later when his colleague Spencer St. John found a drowned rat inside one of the plants. I'm trying not to get too interested in carnivorous plants, but like a bee teetering on the edge of a pitcher plant, I feel like I'm on slippery ground. Number 13. Older than your ancestors. The Welwitschia mirabilis is a plant native to the Namib Desert in Namibia. It was named after Friedrich Welwitsch, who discovered it in 1859, but the local people had known about it and named it long before that. No garden lover or nature enthusiast would want to plant a Welwitschia in their yard.
Their claim to fame is that they've got the longest living leaves of any in the plant kingdom.
It looks like it has been run over by several 4x4 vehicles. So, what makes this plant so special that it attracts hundreds of visitors each year? It is estimated to be between 1,000 and 1,500 years old. It truly is older than your ancestors. Enough about plants. Let's see something more modern now. Number 14. Mobile airbag. This has to be the coolest way to protect your phone. Instead of being horrified every time you drop your phone, you can have a good laugh. Number 15. Darkest of all. This is Vanta Black. It's the darkest man-made substance on Earth. Just like some people who suck all the energy out of a room, this material absorbs 99.965% of ultraviolet and infrared light. If you're having trouble imagining how dark it is, it's said to be the closest thing we can see to a black hole. That's how dark it really is. Number 16. Making of glass beads. I don't know about you, but I've never really thought about how glass beads are made. However, I was totally invested when I came across a video about how they are made. Like they say, the more you know. In Jamaica, there's a family that makes glass beads by recycling old glass bottles. Now, that's a family legacy to be proud of. Number 17. Moving houses. When you hear someone say they're moving houses, you don't expect them to literally pick up their entire house and move it. These are strange times we live in. Imagine coming home after a long day of work and seeing a house being moved down the street next to you. I'd probably check myself into a mental health facility right then. So, for those who have always wanted to pick up their house and move somewhere new, now's your chance. Number 18. Glow in the dark. This little guy took shine bright like a diamond literally.
Have evolved to use fluorescence as maybe a tool for visual ecology.
This shark looks just like a glow stick. In the deep sea, where everything is so dark, I bet he's pretty popular among his friends. Number 19. How'd they do it? Bian Lian, or face changing, is known as China's earliest magic and is a part of traditional Chinese opera. Performers quickly change their facial makeup and make it look like they have a different face in an instant. The changes happen so fast that even attentive audience members can't figure out how it's done. In ancient times, people wore bright masks to scare away dangerous animals. This later inspired Sichuan opera performers to use face changing to express characters' thoughts and feelings. The methods remain a secret, but it's believed that performers layer silk masks and use thin hidden threads to change them. They can change up to 10 masks in 20 seconds, less than 2 masks per second. Number 20, sand to glass. Most of the glass we see every day is either made in factories or used as art. But did you know that glass can also form when lightning hits sand? That's something you might not have seen before. This glass is called fulgurite. It is often referred to as fossilized lightning. Number 21, shedding skin. We've all learned in school that snakes shed their skin, but have you ever actually seen it happen? I'll give you a fair warning. It's a bit gross, but also strangely satisfying to watch. Number 22, crystal tears. I've heard about crocodile tears, but this is the first time I've heard of crystal tears. This family in Lebanon believes their daughter has experienced a miracle. This 12-year-old girl from Fakha sheds up to 10 pieces of glass from her eye each day without any damage. This strange phenomenon began on March 28, 2015.
هلا أول السنة بأول كانون تاني كسرت كوباية عنا بالبيت. كان بابا بيشرب كوباية شاي كبيرة مدري من عيط له كنت أنا عم باكل صباطي.
When she woke up feeling pain in her eye and something came out, her mother took her to the hospital where the doctor removed 3 large pieces of glass. Number 23, hairless chimp. Humans and chimpanzees share 96% of their DNA. This makes chimpanzees our closest animal relatives. So it's not surprising that, like humans, they can also experience alopecia. Alopecia is the loss of hair from areas where hair usually grows. Number 24, tumbleweeds. Watching tumbleweeds roll across the screen in a Western movie is definitely amusing. It's just such a cliche. But it's not so amusing when your own home gets overrun by tumbleweeds. Yes, this unfortunate town in Utah was invaded by tumbleweed. The residents woke up one day to find their homes surrounded by these dry bushes. Some were even locked in. I tell you, these Hollywood props are out of control. Number 25, spinach heart. Popeye the sailor was definitely onto something with his promotion of eating spinach. We are seeing the wonders of spinach right now. Who knew that this little leafy green vegetable would be able to transform into a beating human heart tissue? Scientists have reported that they used spinach leaves to create heart tissue. By washing away the plant cells with detergent, they left behind a cellulose framework. They then seeded this with human heart muscle cells, which began to beat after 5 days. Number 26, rainbow pottery. Why go for boring, normal pottery when you can have colorful rainbow pottery? Number 27, Neuron. I'm sure you've all wondered how neurons actually work. Well, now you can see them in action. Number 28, sailor's eyeball. No, that's not a giant pea or a snot ball. It's Valonia ventricosa, one of the largest known unicellular organisms. Number 29, surgery robots. Did you ever imagine it would be possible to have surgery just by swallowing your surgeon? Yeah, that wasn't on my bingo card either, but it's really happening. Number 30, Waggle dance. Waggling matters. A honeybee's dance includes a shimmy and loops. It helps her colony mates find food she has discovered, even if it's kilometers away.
You can see some vibrations going on and some movements that are actually part of a very sophisticated communication system.
While the dance might look simple on paper, doing it correctly on the honeycomb can be quite difficult. The moral of the story is to be grateful for the honey that you eat by the spoonfuls. Color-changing squid. Video. Squids are some of the few animals that can change their skin color in an instant. These can match their surroundings to become nearly invisible or create patterns that make them stand out. One main reason these animals change color is to hide from predators. The Humboldt squid, also known as the jumbo squid or the red devil, is famous for its bright, flashing colors. This flashing is thought to be a way for the squid to communicate, but no one really knows what they are trying to say. Number 32. Sick beats. You might think you're talented at music if you can perfectly play the piano, rock on a guitar, or play the cello. But true talent is something else. Water drumming. The Baka women are amazing at this art. They work together to create beautiful rhythms. It's so incredible that I can't stop watching. It's the very literal definition of liquid drum and bass. Number 33. Unique fishing. In Guilin, Guangxi, cormorants are well known for fishing on the shallow Lijiang River. In southern China, the Bai people have used cormorants for fishing since the 9th century on the banks of Erhai Lake. While it was originally done for food, cormorant fishing is now mostly done for tourists. Number 34. Heart. Scientists at the University of East London are creating lab-grown hearts. These hearts are called organoids and are formed from human stem cells, which are used for 28 days before being destroyed. Their goal is to develop AI that can quickly detect heart diseases by analyzing how heart cells change as we age. Prashanjay Ruchaya, a cardiovascular scientist, explains that the heart doesn't regenerate well, with cell turnover dropping significantly by age 80. The team aims to teach the AI to recognize the heart's movements as it relaxes and contracts, which are called systole and diastole. They will study the speed and patterns of these movements to gain a better understanding of heart function. Number 35. Skateboarding. We have all seen skateboarding before, but this man just takes it to a whole new level. Skateboarder Matt Tomasello works as a computer technician, but he gained worldwide fame through his Instagram posts showcasing his amazing skateboard tricks. His most popular videos feature him adding his own creative inventions to his boards. For example, he sawed one board in half, allowing it to spin during jumps. Another board has wings with extra wheels, so when he jumps, he can spread his wings. Crazy, right? Number 36. Venom. I'm not usually into superheroes or supervillains, but that definitely looks like Venom to me. What else could explain a black goo attacking an innocent crab? Share your guesses in the comments below. Number 37. Unhatched Baby Shark. Once you hear Baby Shark, it's impossible to get that song out of your head. Just like that catchy tune, this video of unhatched baby sharks will stick with you too. It's really interesting to watch the baby shark moving inside its slightly see-through egg. Number 38. Climbing goats. Have you ever seen goats in a tree? I hadn't until now. Just look at them. These goats in Morocco's Argan forest have a unique skill. They've developed this talent to reach the Argan fruit high up in the trees. Number 39. Cattle. Now this is a big crowd. This huge herd of cattle is gathered around a water tanker, which is their only source of water. God, they must be really thirsty. Number 40. Leafhopper Nymph. This leafhopper nymph sure knows how to have a good time. Number 41. Show dog. I'm sure your dog can perform a few tricks, but having a dog that can herd a bunch of ducks, that's a real flex right there. Number 42. 5-inch thumb. Yup, I can definitely confirm that this man has never lost a thumb battle. And this, ladies and gentlemen, deserves a thumbs up. Number 43. Blood Beach. Hormuz is an island near the southern coast of Iran. It's known for its stunning beauty, especially its unique ruby red beach. It's nicknamed Rainbow Island. Hormuz is famous for its colorful landscapes and waters. A viral video highlighted the island's reddish sea. This led many to mistakenly think it was a sign of an apocalyptic event, believing the beach was covered in blood. In reality, the color comes from high levels of iron oxides in the sand. This makes the waves appear reddish. When you swim in these waters, the color can stay on your skin for days. The red oxide is called shellac. It is used in cosmetics, fabrics, and even food coloring, like in a local bread called tomshi. Number 44. Ant rope. This video shows a type of army ant recorded in Costa Rica. While these ropes look interesting, they don't help the ants reach the wasp nest. You typically don't see this in their natural habitats, which lack smooth surfaces. What happens is that the ants are attracted to a wasp nest on overhangs of buildings. As they move over the smooth surface, they start slipping and cling to each other, forming a loop. This loop gets bigger because of the weight of the ants and the heavy traffic on the slippery surface. Eventually, it either breaks or shrinks as the number of ants decreases. Fascinating, isn't it? Number 45. The flying fish. Now that we've seen fish flying, I guess it won't be long before we see pigs fly too. Number 46. Wine in the streets. This event is definitely one for the history books. For years to come, people will be saying, "Remember the day our neighborhood was flooded with wine? Oh yeah, I was really drunk that day." Number 47. The Blue Lobster. Lobster is a tasty and popular dish enjoyed worldwide. But did you know there are different types of lobsters, including some that are blue? A blue lobster is just that, a lobster that is blue. This unusual color comes from a genetic defect that causes the lobster to produce too much of a specific protein. Mutated blue lobsters are very rare, but how rare exactly? The chance of finding one is about 1 in 2 million. Number 48. Claws. The public at Myrtle Beach was understandably amazed to see an osprey flying high with a large fish in its claws. The fish was still wriggling and trying to escape as the bird soared above the beach. Number 49. Wolf eel. Fun fact, wolf eels aren't actually eels, they're a type of fish. One key difference is that they have pectoral fins behind their heads, which true eels like morays don't have. Adult wolf eels like to live in dens, which are caves or crevices in rocky areas. They go back into these spaces and stick their heads out to look for food. Young wolf eels spend their early lives in open water and are bright brick-colored with orange and purple highlights. As they grow older, their colors fade to gray and brown, and they develop unique dark spots. At the Seattle Aquarium, biologists can tell different wolf eels apart by these spots. Wolf eels are strong eaters at any age, feeding on crabs, sea urchins, and other sea creatures. They have a thick slime on their skin for protection and often scratch their backs on rocks by swimming upside down. Number 50. Real or cake? I'm willing to bet anything that these videos gave an entire generation of trust issues. You think it's cake? Nope, that's a real shoe. Want to sit on that sofa? Too bad, it's actually made of cake. It's hard to tell what's real anymore. Number 51. Thousands. You can't say you've ever seen this many turtles in one place. Seeing thousands of turtles swimming in the ocean is sure to lift your spirits. Number 52. Brazilian skipper. The caterpillar of the Brazilian skipper butterfly has translucent skin that provides a clear view of its insides, especially its circulatory system. Their see-through skin reveals the organs inside, making them appear quite strange. The dark line running down its back from the head to the tail is actually its heart. Number 53. Ghost apple. Well, here's something you don't see every day. Apples covered in ice hanging from a tree. These are called ghost apples. But what exactly are they? Andrew thinks they formed after some very cold weather, which froze the outside of the apples. The apples themselves stayed intact because they can handle colder temperatures. Later, it warmed up just enough for the insides of the apples to turn mushy. When Andrew pruned the tree, some of the mush slipped out, leaving behind the ghost apples. As far as anyone can tell, this phenomenon hasn't been seen much before. Number 54. Sea bunnies. These tiny, furry animals hopping around the ocean aren't bunnies, they're actually slugs. You still think they're cute? Because I do. Sea bunnies are so small that one can fit on your fingertip. Predators avoid these little slugs because they're very toxic. They absorb toxins from the creatures they eat, like toxic sponges. They can even steal stingers from jellyfish and use them to defend themselves. You definitely don't want to mess with these tiny bunny lookalikes. Number 55. Bear. It's not every day you see a bear riding a motorcycle. He's sitting calmly in a sidecar while riding with some Russians. I don't speak their language, but I can hear the excitement in the voices of the people passing by. I have to give it to him, he's one calm bear. He even waves back. And that's all for today. Out of all the bizarre things on our list, which one surprised you the most? Comment down below and let us know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video. Goodbye.